Hey gods and goddesses, this is Trisha from Light of Lemuria, and today I'd love to speak about the goddess Isis. And first of all, I'd like to speak about ancient Egypt and mythology. As we look at it, it is not a story. Mythology is a spell. It is weaved for the initiate's path. It is a map to humanness, for souls to evolve to higher states of consciousness, to go through the mystery school teachings and the lineage. One of the mythologies of Isis is the mother aspect and the protector of the feminine. And we see this to be true because we see Isis in the mythology. She is worshipped as the star Sothis, the star Sirius. And we see this around winter solstice, when the sun pulls away from the earth for 3 days. And Sothis, Sirius, the blue star, comes in closest to the earth at this particular time and acts like a blue sun. And it acts and it gives this, radiates this frequency or a protection around the Earth's atmosphere, the energetic or the aura of Mother Earth. So we see this to be true, as Isis is the mother and the protector of our ancient, gorgeous Mother Earth. And we see this as her mythology as the mother. But as we have seen throughout the ages, at the very core of the mystery school teachings, when it first arrived here on earth, the matriarchal was very, very strong. And we had here, before separation, we had the erotic mother. Throughout the ages, the patriarchal took over, and there was an imbalance of the feminine and the masculine. And what they have done is caused the separation of eroticism, or the sexual currents that run through the woman's body, that Shakti energy. They've separated eroticism, or that erotic nature of the woman, her sexuality, and separated the mother as well. And throughout the years, the mother was condemned of and stripped bare and raped from her sexuality. We see this in power at the moment. We see this with the wars that are going on at the moment, the wars of oil and fighting over oil, and who's raping Mother Earth, and who's gaining money and gaining power, gaining gaining power. And so here we see that a woman's sexuality or sexual currents is of power. We see this with womb envy. We see this with the masculine putting on a fake persona, or the fake feminine. We see this with men dressing up as women and trying to rule the world, or becoming the woman of the year. We see this warped twist of the feminine and masculine at the moment. And let's go back to the separation of the erotic mother, the erotic and the mother. And we see this throughout the ages of the Virgin Mary, or the Virgin, or the miraculous conception, where she was a virgin but still gave birth. What a load of bullshit. They're stripping away a woman's sexuality and feeding into what a woman should be and how she should act, how she should be pure, how she should be a martyr, how she should just give while she's chained in her sexuality. And we see this now with women. We look at our own mothers or our grandmothers, never once being able to show their sexual liberation or being erotic in front of the family. Had she have done that, she would have been shamed for her overly sexual power. We see this as she would have been condemned, she would have been thrown out of the tribe. And so women, out of pure safety and security without being thrown out of their tribe, their community, their family, they would conform to this patriarchal belief system of just giving endlessly, just giving, stripping back her sexuality. And this is where our power has been taken away. I deliberately put the erotic mother together because people that don't, that feel that separation can't even get the concept of them actually being one unit working in synergy. So the erotic mother is that woman who allows her sexual currents to flow through her body and allowing that to mature into the heart and becoming the ultimate lover of herself, her world, and overflowing her cup with this sexual life force, this power, where she's able to actually give to her family, her tribe, her community with her healing abilities, because we have to look at this. All of Isis, goddess Isis, priestesses were trained in the sexual arts, the sexual serpent priestesses, or the tantrikas. We know this of Mary Magdalene as well. We know goddess Isis, biggest priestess that we know of is Mary Magdalene. So the mystery school teachings of Isis teach us about the erotic mother. We look at this with the erotic mother of the orgasmic birthing. We look at this, and one of the biggest gifts we know as priestesses, and that we know, and not many people know this in Babylon, the Matrix, and the Western world, is about having the best cervical orgasm of your life, or orgasmic birthing. We know this with the erotic mother is when she's breastfeeding her child, the eroticism that comes through with this. And I'm not talking about the eroticism of the patriarchal view of eroticism. I'm talking about pure erotic life force pulsating through the woman's body, giving her baby this vital life force as she is flooded with oxytocin. She is flooding her baby with oxytocin. They're looking into each other's eyes. And of course she is turned on erotically, and more sexual energy, this vital life force is coming through her body as her baby is being nourished, mind, body, and soul. So yes, there is eroticism in the mother. And when a woman embodies this, when she really calls in Isis, when she's calling in this part of her, this archetype of her, this flavor, she is really tapping into her serpent power, marrying her sexual serpent to her rose, her heart, her joy, maturing this, allowing this to overflow so much. And so here we see this woman, this powerful woman, being able to give from her bosoms, from her womb, her wisdom womb, giving this life force to her people, her world, and not from an empty cup, but from a full. And she taps into this by tapping into this part of her, by touching the longing, the yearning, that void that is in her heart. No other lover, no man, no one can touch that part of her, that longing, that void, that knowing. No one can touch that, only her. Only her can touch that. She can yearn for somebody outside of herself to touch that, but no one will ever be able to touch her the way she can. So when we go back into the erotic mother, we go back into the power and really turn that on with who we are and what we're about. So this is our birthright as women, to own this, to honor this, to become the best lovers we ever have, because no one else is going to give us pleasure the way we can really turn our own pleasure centers on. So let's have a look at this, because we've been talking about how the patriarchal has stripped and raped us bare. We see this in the temple spaces all around the world where the goddess is defaced, where the temple spaces are chained and bound with the patriarchal, or that it looks like it is, but it really is not. It's because the patriarchal wants to bottle it up and sell it. They are so fearful of a woman in her sexual liberation that they deem it as sinful. They deem it as they try to control it. They try to control the woman. Here we look at womb envy from men. We look at the man who is not sexually liberated, who is not on the tantric path or working with his sexual energy in the most upward path. We look at this because he looks at women for the need to steal at her altar, and at her altar, or her chalice, her holy chalice, her womb, they try to steal a part of the feminine, and it's never enough for them. So they go to woman, to woman, to woman, to woman, trying to take that part of her altar. We see this over time and time again. But they never really take anything, because it never is stripped. It is defaced, but not stripped. We see this also too with overly feminine men at the moment, with fake feminine energy, because they're scared of their own power when they stand in their own masculine. When a man has this womb envy, with this womb envy, he wants to take that feminine essence. The man deep down wants the feminine essence. He wants to go back into the womb. He wants to go back to wholeness. Yet the patriarchal, he's running on this belief system, this programming of hatred for the feminine, this disgust, this despise, this mistrust. And so he runs and he steals and he takes and he takes and he takes. So my women, as you are going on the path of the serpent and the rose, when you are going on to the erotic mother, when you are marrying your sex to your heart, to your spirituality, you will know that any man that enters your womb comes with an offering of devotion. He comes with an offering of love. Anything less is not worthy for temple gates to be open in the first place. So when we look at mythology, yes, Isis is the protector of the feminine, but she will allow you to look at your shadows around the erotic mother and where you hold shame and where you hold guilt. When you allow this erotic current to run through you, through your life, she wants you to awaken. She wants you to allow that current to come through you so you can anchor it back into the earth, so you can become the priestesses of the keepers of the earth. That's what her priestesses are. So having a look at your guilt and shame around your erotic nature, your erotic currents that come through, and how you relate to your men around your world. The first line of initiation is for this, and I always teach this, is to be able to give so much love now to the masculine, that patriarchal that runs through men and women. But when we're talking about healing our men, I'm talking about holding that torch of light, holding that love, that frequency, that, and I don't mean by mothering them. We don't want to mother them, because once we start to mother them, we cut the polarity, we cut the erotic connection and chemistry between the masculine and feminine. What happens then? We become the mother and the child. We don't want that. We so don't want that. We want the erotic mother to come through. So we're giving the torch or the flame of love, or that mother quality, or that womb space, but we're also charging our man with the sexual healing energy of eroticism, erotic nature, erotic natural life force running through our bodies, into our men, into our sons, into our children, into all our life, into every people. And I don't mean giving this away either. I mean holding that torch where people can really feel the essence, and they can start to open and have the transmission, to have permission to ignite their own torch, their own erotic nature, sexual currents, natural nature, life force running through your body. When I talk about life force and sexual energy and sexual current, I'm not talking about sexual energy that is the erotic of the patriarchal or porn. I'm talking about the sexual natural life force that runs through nature, that creative life force that creates babies, that energy before it is tainted and touched, that erotic charge, that creative life force, that is the healing aspect that I'm talking about. And this is what, when we start to transmit that through our own bodies, we give permission for others to do that. And we're in this space and time right now. Yes, there is suppression of the feminine around the world, but my God, there is such uprise at the moment, with women starting to open and expand, men starting to be more conscious, starting to be the protectors of the feminine, starting to really come into their power and their light. And the only way we're going to go through that is for the women to throw down their swords, to allow them to heal their wounds around the patriarchal, and not only just in this lifetime, but many, many, many lifetimes, and the collective consciousness of us females and what has been done to us. But to hold that light and that love for them. And in Egyptian Tantra, in sacred sexuality, in Tantra, us feminine, we initiate the men. We initiate the men into this. That's why they want to come back to the womb, and we hold that space for them so they don't have womb envy. They don't want to steal the feminine. They don't want to suppress her anymore. We do this by rising, and this is what we are doing, and we only rise in this consciousness and using this sexual energy into the heart and to our world, getting in touch with that. And also too, we lay down our swords. We allow this feminine Shakti energy to run through us, and us keeping our swords up, we become more masculine. If you look around in the world, the feminine is becoming more masculine, and the masculine is becoming more feminine. And it's throwing off the whole polarity and the sexual charge between the man and woman. We don't want this fake masculine to run through the feminine. We don't want this fake feminine to run through our masculine. We want to come to this equilibrium and coming back to wholeness. So we do this by putting down our swords and healing our wounds of the masculine, of the male, our men. The next initiation is to release your shame and guilt around your sexuality, to unleash the shackles that has been tied to you and chained to you and kept you suppressed, small, and not good enough or too much. It's time to start to work on this and allowing this to come through. So this is what the Erotic Mother means, and this is the mythology around Isis, and one of her mystery school teachings is to allow this to come through the body. And in my teachings, we go through all different somatic practices, and one of them is through dance, through sound, through breath, through touching our bodies, through moving, through being present in what is coming up in our vessels, our pleasure centers, our beautiful bodies, and allowing this to move, allowing our whole bodies to move in such an erotic way that we become the ultimate lovers. So the only way to come through and healing our wounds is through this erotic love. And I invite you to call in this part of you. Call in this part of you that is aching and longing to be felt, to be seen, to be touched. Only you can activate your own pleasure, your erotic nature. It's already there. We don't need to go into lower frequencies. We see this on everyday basis. We see this in the patriarchal, where they try to use sex as a weapon. They try to use power, or they use money and greed. We see these lower frequencies where we're stealing each other's energies. When if you are working these currents through your body, you are so filled up, your cup, that you are exchanging your energy through consciousness and love. And we've got that much natural life force and nature energy that it is unlimited abundance for us. So why do we need to steal from the feminine? We see this in sexual acts. We see the man trying to steal the essence of the feminine when he's not in his heart, when he's not present, when he's too busy worrying about ejaculation and his performance and getting his own kicks and his own pleasure, not honoring the feminine. We also see this with the wounded feminine stealing the essence or the masculine for safety, control, manipulation, and seeing her stealing the essence of the masculine as well, out of still running on the programs of self-hatred and the hatred of our men. So these are the shadows that we are starting to face. We're seeing the shadow work come through. We see our deep, darkest shadows coming through in our sexual shadows. When we look at the erotic mother, have a look at this. We see this in, and one sister said it beautifully today to me, that it's funny how the wife is the pure essence, and the man doesn't want to fuck the shit out of his wife. He would rather have a mistress where he can play that current with her, where he desires his mistress but keeps the wife at home, keeps her safe in this motherly saint energy, and he can't comprehend to put them two together. It's like the typical Eve and Lilith, the sacred whore and the Virgin Mary. It's like separating this. If only we start holding that space within us, sisters, when we start to allow that motherly energy to come through, that grounding energy that the mother provides, the pillar, but also with that electric, erotic energy coming through us, then we teach our men again that we are whole. We are not separated. We are not separate beings. We are full Shakti in all its glory and all its essence. So I want you to this week have a look with your erotic nature, erotic mother. Dance her, act her out, go shopping, go out and go and be this in your family. See what happens. See the reaction. See what it feels like in you. Is there still shame and guilt around that? Allow that to come through and dance that. Dance her. Dance a storm with her this week. And comment in the comments below how you feel about this. How you feel embodying this beautiful archetype and the teachings of the goddess Isis, just a slither of the teachings of the goddess Isis. Blessings.